someone who's probably an intern who will be delighted to see you as you walk in the door. They'll be very excited to see you because you are from their home area, whether it's their home district or their home state, and they will greet you very warmly. Please be aware that even though you may have already made the appointment and you thought the appointment was going to be with the senator or the congressional representative, he or she may not be there. They may be called to the floor to do a vote, and in which case you would be meeting with one of their legislative assistants or a staff member. Do not be disappointed by that. The legislative assistants and staff members have a tremendous amount of influence. They're the ones who actually make sure that the members get to hear all about you and all about things that are important. And they're very valuable assistants to those senators and representatives. So enjoy your visit with them.
And so next we're going to brief you a little bit on basically what you should be talking about when you go into that office, basically what the point is of you talking to a senator, or representative, or someone from their staff. So first of all, and most importantly, you should definitely introduce yourself. We can't tell you the amount of time someone goes into an office and explains their project and doesn't introduce themselves. Say who you are, what your project is. If there's a project title, make sure you mention it. And you should also tell them a brief, short story about why this is important to you or how this is related to your life. You know, if you came up with a project that because of an event that happened to your life, make sure you let them know that. That's really important, and that's what they want to hear. And secondly, make sure that you're sort of bridging that gap, so making the connection between your project and the senator, representative, or staff member that you're meeting with. And basically you should be answering the question, why should they care about what you're doing? So go in there confident in what you're talking about, confident in your project, and make sure that you let them understand why they should be caring about what you're doing. So just some things to think about before you head into that office.
So it's going to be really important for you to do some homework between now and the time you actually show up on the doorstep of that congressional office. And the best way to prepare yourself is to go on the web, Google the name of your senator or the representative. Sarah will have sent you the name of the person that you will be meeting with. And once you Google them, look for the site that is their official home site. And then go to that official home site, and on that page find where the biography is of the senator or congressional representative. Look through to find out what they're particularly interested in or passionate about. And here's a little clue for you. The committees that your senator or representative are seated on will always be listed on that page. There will be a tab usually that will say committees, or a drop-down menu that will point to the committees that they're on. And that's where the majority of their time is spent. That's where their priority focus is going to be spent, on those particular committees. So they may have positions on other things, but the place where they have the most influence is going to be on those particular committees. Review what it is that they're doing. Take note of whether they're a Republican or a Democrat. And then go through other pages on their site, which will very often give you their positions on absolutely everything that they're involved with. For your perspective, it's going to be important whether or not they are on the Senate Education Committee or the Congressional, the House of Representatives Education Committee. It will be important for you to find out what is their position on education, because you're coming in as a student, and so that will help you build a relationship. What you're going to be looking for in looking through those committees and those position papers is something that speaks to the topic that you have selected as the focus of what your NCAM participation is going to be all about. because that's where you're going to start to build your conversation with them. So for example, if you go in and discover that your representative sits on the House of Representatives Health and Human Services committee, and your issue happens to be childhood hunger, you're in luck, because then you can say to the representative or senator, you know, I noticed that this is a passion for you, and I share your passion, and this is what I'm doing about it. And you always want to try to find something in common to have them listen to you, so that they'll look at you and say, oh, here's a young person who's doing something that is really important to me, and I'm sitting on committees that are making laws about this particular thing. So that's what you're going to try to do first. Sometimes you may find a little something in their biography about that. They may not be sitting on a committee, but there may be something in the biographical sketch. So once again, just to wrap up, when you get to that home page, you want to look at the biography very carefully. You want to look at the committees that the person is a member of, and then you want to browse their positions on education.
Great. So thinking back to what Susan just said and trying to find those common ties between the office, so whoever from the office that you're meeting with as well as your project, you should probably be asking yourself, what is that final outcome that I'm looking to achieve? What are we asking you to go in there for? And one of the things that we talked about is that it's going to be different for everyone. So before the meeting, you should be thinking about what you are personally looking to get out of this meeting. So if you want them to join you at a service project, if they come to visit your home state, make sure that you mention that. And I think for every one of you, since your projects are so different, that's something that you just need to think about for your own personal goal for this meeting. So one thing to think about is, how can you keep them involved in your project throughout the entire year? You know, can you keep in contact with them or someone from their office and update them on your project? Can you, invite them to various events that you're planning? Things like that you just need to think about beforehand and sort of come up with an idea of what that final outcome you're looking to achieve is. And also, it doesn't hurt to ask for a picture. That would be a really cool thing to have, hang up on your wall and share with all of your friends and family, and sort of highlight your project by having that picture and showing the importance of what your project is. So just each individually try and think of in the coming weeks what you're looking to get out of this Hill visit meeting.
And just to add something, it's not just you that is going to want that picture. The member, the senator or congressional representative is also going to want that picture, because it's important to remember that you are the constituent. That means that you or your parents are the reason that member of Congress is elected and is representing you. And so as a result, it's really important for him or her to show a relationship to the people from his or her state or congressional district. So they're just as anxious to have their picture taken with you as you are to have your picture taken with them. So we want to just talk a little bit about what to wear. Two things that we want to talk about. You want to look nice. You want to look well put together, and so we've given you a couple of suggestions here. We call it professional business attire. And for the women, we would like you to consider bringing a dress with you, or a skirt and top, not a short skirt, something knee length that will be relatively modest, and or business pants and a top. You certainly do not have to wear a skirt or a dress. You can certainly wear pants, but not jeans. You need to think about maybe going to church or synagogue or mosque, so that you need to look relatively dressed up. And so too with our young men, we're hoping that you'll bring dress pants or khakis, a button-down shirt. If you have a tie and blazer, this is a great time to bring that. If not, don't worry about it. But again, just think of, you're going out to dinner with your parents at a nice restaurant, or you're going to a very special concert that you need to be dressed up. I want to talk a little bit about shoes. The most important word you see here is that they are comfortable for you. The halls of Congress are very, very, very long. And finding the congressional offices, sometimes you can go around the entire building, and these buildings are huge buildings. And so you're going to end up walking a lot. And the last thing you want to do is to be uncomfortable. So what we're preferring or suggesting is to bring flats, comfortable shoes if you are a woman. If you're comfortable in your heels and you could walk 3 miles in them and not have a problem with them, then that's fine too. We're not insisting, but the most important word there is to be comfortable.
So we're just going to go over a few notes to remember for the day of your visit, which we'll obviously remind you of when you get here in a couple of weeks, but just to think about ahead of time as you start to plan for the visit. So make sure that you're bringing your template with you, which all of you have, and all of you will be sending to me within the next couple of weeks. Make sure you're bringing that with you because you're going to be leaving it in the office for them to keep, and a reminder for them of who you are and what your project is. Remember that this is really cool. This is an awesome opportunity, and it's really exciting for you guys. I know I'm sure a lot of you have never visited a senator or representative's office before, so this is a really exciting experience. And just remember that they agreed to meet with you, and they're interested in your project and who you are, and they wouldn't have agreed to have this meeting if they weren't interested or had no need to meet with you. So they're just as excited as you are, and even if you're not meeting with the senator or representative themselves, you are meeting with a staff member who will pass on the word to whoever's office that is. So just keep that in mind. And the biggest thing is make sure that you are turning off your cell phone as you walk into that office. Please keep it with you in case you leave the office and have no idea where you are and need to get in contact with us or things like that, but make sure that it is off while you're in that office. The worst thing that could happen is you sitting in the middle of the meeting and your cell phone starts to ring. That would not be good. So just make sure that it's off. Please don't put it on silent. Just turn it off while you're in that office.
So one more thing that I want to raise before we go to some questions, and that is that you need to be really on task in terms of thinking about what it is that you want to say as a priority in that meeting. You may have a meeting that's scheduled for 30 minutes. You may have a meeting that was scheduled only for 15 minutes. Many, many times people have meetings that are scheduled for 15 minutes and they actually only get 5 or 4 or 3 minutes with the member of Congress because all of a sudden the bells start ringing, which is very exciting, and the member is being summoned to the floor of Congress to make a vote and to register their vote. And so they, as much as they want to spend time with you, their time may be cut short. So just be aware of that. That's not an insult to you. They really do want to meet with you, but they're extremely busy people. And you are coming at a time when they've just come back from their summer recess, so there are going to be lots and lots of things that are going to be demanding their attention. It is very exciting. Remember, too, that there are only 435 members of the House and 100 members of the Senate. So there's only 535 people just like these people in the entire United States who are our legislators. And you get to meet with one of them. So that's very, very special.
And so now we're just going to, I'm going to remind you that the Hill Visit template that I emailed you all approximately 2 weeks ago, you should be filling it out and filling it with all of your information and answering all of the questions that we gave you. And it is due back to me by September 9th. Please email it back to me, and as always, let me know if you have any questions while you're filling it out. I will review them once I get all of them back and send them back to you with some comments or questions for you that maybe you hadn't thought about before, and then you will be bringing that with you to your Hill visit as we mentioned before. So now we're just going to open it up for some questions. If you'll see on the sidebar here, there's a little chat box, so feel free to input anything that you have a question about.
got lots of questions here. So is there a sleeve length requirement for the dress? Carolina's asking that, and the answer is no. Whatever you are comfortable with. You can wear a sleeveless dress. It's fine. It's pretty warm in Washington, D.C. Excuse me. Could you please resend me the template? Sophia, we will take note of that, and we will do that. How long are the meetings usually? I would say you can count on an average about 10 to 15 minutes. They're pretty short. They're pretty direct. Will the webinar be able to review later? Yes, it will be posted. Sarah, do you want to give information?
Sure. So this webinar is being recorded currently. I'm sorry if your audio wasn't working beforehand. I'm not sure why, but it will be recorded and then it will be uploaded, and I will make sure to send it to all of you before your visit, hopefully within the next 24 hours. So just be on the lookout for that email. I'll send you a link and you'll be able to review all of this information. So someone asked a question about the business cards. We will be making you the business cards. We will be taking care of that. You will have them in the packet when you first arrive. So when you first arrive, you'll be getting a packet with an agenda, some contact information, information about your Hill visit, information about the sessions that you'll be attending throughout the 3 days that you're here, as well as some business cards to bring with you to either exchange between ambassadors if you have ideas or if you want another ambassador's contact information, as well as to leave at your Hill visit for the senator, representative, or staff member who you're meeting with. So please just take note of that.
So Shane has asked whether the PowerPoint would be able to be sent to them. I think better than that, we can probably send you the link to where you can view this webinar, because that way you won't just get the PowerPoint, but you'll get the conversation and the text as well. Viviana asked whether you should bring a personal resume. That's up to you. That would be very nice. I think what you're going to leave behind in the member's office is going to be the template, and Sarah will guide you through preparing that template. Sierra asked if we could send another template. Yes, we'll be able to do that. Carly has asked whether there are some other ideas of ways you can involve your senator or representative other than having them attend your event. Yes, you can ask them to perhaps talk about what it is that you're doing in a speech that they may be giving, or with a group that they may be meeting with. Or you can ask them whether they've ever had any interaction with some of the nonprofit partners that you are going to be working with.
And also take this time to engage with each other on the Youth Action Center, the group on Facebook. That's a really good way to share some ideas if someone has a different idea than you do and sort of gets your thinking going. Be sure to share these questions on there as well, because it's just me and Susan on this end, so there's 50 other plus on there. So if you have any questions like that, feel free to share those as well and make it sort of a free-flowing conversation. How soon can you expect to find out who you're meeting with? I sent an email over to every one of you yesterday. If you didn't get an email with who you're meeting with, or didn't get an email saying that you will find out soon, please just shoot me an email and I will let you know. I should have gone through yesterday, but if for some reason it didn't, that's totally fine. I have all the information, so I can just resend that to you. So just let me know. And also, you will know if you're meeting with a staff member or representative beforehand. I will let you know. In the emails that I sent out, it will say you are meeting with either Senator X or you're meeting with a staff member from Senator X's office. So you will know before going into that office who you're meeting with. It may work out that if you're meeting with a staff member and all of a sudden the representative is free and has some time, they may join you. It may also work out that you have a meeting with the senator and he gets called to the floor and they can't meet with you and you have to meet with a member of their staff. So just keep that in mind. It may not be exactly who we're telling you that you'll be meeting with, but we also don't know until you get there anyway. So just keep that in mind.
So Carolina has asked if there is extra time for conversation. Are there topics that you should refrain from talking about? That's a great question, Carolina. And that's why we are suggesting that you really study the members' webpage. So you're there to build a relationship, and you're there to really focus in on what it is that you want to talk about. But if, in fact, you read in the members' profile or, based on the committee positions that member may have taken, that they are opposed to something, it wouldn't be a great idea to bring it up. I would think that you're there to, just use your discretion. We know that all of you are very smart, capable young people, and you know how to build a relationship. Just think about this as a new friend that you're trying to make. That's the easiest way to kind of calm your jitters at this point. If you think about meeting a new friend, the first thing you're going to want to do is to try to find things in common, and to try to find ways that you can agree with your new friend, and what they like and what you like is the same. You're not going to go to those issues where you have some significant disagreement.
There's a question about travel information. You should have received all that information as soon as you all filled out your MOUs. Then Helene from the YSA office would have gotten in touch with either you or your parents, and everyone's flight information has been planned out. So if for some reason that you don't know that information, also just please send me an email, and I can get you the information to you as soon as possible. It is all planned out, so we just need to send you that information if for some reason you didn't have that beforehand.
So the StrengthsFinder exercise is you may want to bring that with you to the training, because we're going to be doing a follow-up activity based on your StrengthsFinder piece, and so the answer is yes, please bring that with you. You don't need to send it back, but please bring it with you. Sarah, can you answer the next one?
Sure. So the question is, as a group with youth representation from all 50 states, would YSA/NCAM support the creation of some kind of youth platform being made? I think that definitely collaboration amongst all of you is really important for the upcoming year. A lot of you have very similar projects, but a lot of you also have projects that are very different from others. And so I think group collaboration is definitely important, not only on the Youth Action Center discussing ideas, but especially when you come to the training in September, discussing different ways that you guys can collaborate with each other. So we're definitely pro youth platform being made. If you have any specific ideas, please feel free to reach out to us and let us know, and we can talk from there. But we definitely want you all to collaborate with each other in the upcoming year. In terms of the press release, I think it's a case-by-case scenario. If you are sort of having trouble with it and not hearing back from people in regards to the press release that you sent out, then please let us know, and we can have our communications team here reach out to a variety of different media sources in your state. They have access to that. So if you're having a little bit of trouble, please let us know, and we'll do the best we can to help you out. But there isn't sort of a measure of success that you should be having. I think it depends on every person. So don't feel discouraged if you haven't heard back yet.
It also will depend very largely on what's going on in the news to any particular day. So if at promoting what you have sent out in your press release happens to come into the news desk in the same day that war is being contemplated with Syria, or the stock market is going down, or any one of those other really significant news items, you can expect that they will have to deal with those other issues first. Don't be discouraged. Be persistent. Do you want to answer the next one?
Sure. So there's a little bit of an unrelated question, which is totally fine. But if you need to make a change to your budget, please email me and specify what changes you'll be making. Just to let us know, so we can change it on our end, and just give us a little overview of, I guess, why it's changed and what you're changing it to, just so we can be on the same page. Just please let us know as soon as you can.
Great. And Laura has asked if there is a formal list somewhere, and I think Sarah is thinking about sending something like that out.
Yeah, well, we're working on over the next couple of weeks putting together a list of things that you should bring with you. A lot of the things that we told you to bring with you are things that you will get when you get here. So in terms of the business card and just I think the most important thing to bring from home is your template, as well as the strengths finder for the training when you come here. Those are the two things that we sent to you over email. But other than that, things that you should be bringing with you are things that you will get here. We will get as soon as you get to DC. So I wouldn't stress too much about that, but I will be reminding you guys about that in the coming weeks of what you should be bringing with you.
In terms of what, let's see, Carly has asked whether the media contact will let you know that they're going to use your press release, and do they have the right to use it at their own discretion once it is sent. Answering the second part of that question first, yes, they do have the right to use it. Sorry, they're vacuuming the floor here. They do have the right to use it at their own discretion. They obviously won't change things in it. They'll use the text that you provided them. As to whether or not they'll contact you to let you know, that I think is going to depend on whether you just sent it to someone and you haven't had any personal contact. It's more likely if you've had a personal contact, a conversation with somebody at the media, then they'll probably let you know personally.
Yep. Please feel free to type in any more questions that you have. At the moment, we don't have any, but we're here to answer your questions, so just let us know if you have any.